Welcome to the new gate, one of the 8 gates of Jerusalem and the last one to be built. And it was built because outside the gate you can see the Christian Order, and the Christians asked from the Ottomans to build themselves a gate that will make their life easier because they wanted to reach the Christian quarter inside the wall, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and the Terra Santa of the Franciscans. The Franciscans came to here the 14th century. They actually didn't stay here. Their center was at Mount Zion, and wished to reach back to that place. But because they've been here as the only Latin order, they got another mission, except of preaching and studying, and that was to take care of the Holy Land churches and holy sites. In the Holy Land, we do have only 350 brothers. There are no monks, they're called brothers, friars, and it's not only here. The Holy Land is Israel, the Palestinian territory, Jordan, Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, even Cyprus and Rhodes. Today the tour is of a tour guide. It's not that there are tourists in Israel now. Father Alberto will take us to a special place that it's quite difficult to enter if you're not or Franciscans or Franciscans. Then in that case, we are entering to San Salvador, St Saviour Monastery of the Terra Santa. Ayelet Opaz is our tour guide, and everyone that you see here are tourists. The building that we will enter is 1/3 of the Christian quarter. It's huge. We do have so many places here, from library to laundry to school to monasteries to churches. We have everything. It's a beautiful place, and I'm so happy that we will enter now to it. The Lord, we bless you and guide you, is right here. In Hebrew, Yivarecha Adonai Ve'ishmerecha. It's Custodia Terra Santa, the custody of the Holy Land, and you can see the logo of the order. And you can see the Jerusalem cross that you love in the hands of St. Franciscus and Jesus, of course, and the Holy Spirit and Lord itself. So lovely to be here again. Look how many things you can actually see here. It's in English, Hebrew, and Arabic. We are next to the Curia, where the bishop is used to stay. And remember, they were the only one who represented the church, the Catholic Church. Today it's not like that. In front of you can see the School of Music and the library. I want to go in to smell the books. Although there's no bishop of the Franciscans, the custos, the head of the order, here can actually wear the bishop clothes and signs, except of the leader log or stick. At the 19th century, the Vatican actually came to say what? We are the patriarch. You are the order, we are the patriarch. But there is a problem, if there is a problem, who actually controlled the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, because until then, everything was at the hands of the Franciscans. Then the idea was that the Church of the Holy Sepulchre belongs to the Catholic, but held by the Franciscans, and the patriarch, if he is entering only with the permission of the Franciscans. Here in the logo, the symbol, what you didn't see before is Mount Zion. We will reach Mount Zion again. Remember, they started at Mount Zion at the 14th century, and then the Ottomans kicked them away from there, and they moved to here. That was a place that belonged to the Georgians, Christians, and but their wish is to reach back to Mount Zion, to be as close as they can to the upper room that used to be owned by them. There's a school of music. It's conservative of classic music, and then the brother Alberto, is actually standing at the head of that institute. Then there are a lot of Franciscan musicians, and I don't know if you heard the choirs of the Franciscans. It's to die for. It's so beautiful. It's divine. There are a lot of Arabs, local Arabs, Palestinians as well, that enjoying that school. The idea is that the children will study, the children will have more education and won't be another stand in the streets. I think you know what I mean by that. So the majority of the teachers are Israelis, women teachers. Most of the students are Arabs, Muslims, and Christians. So lovely to have something like that, don't you think so? It doesn't matter if the Christians here will be Catholic or Armenian. It's from all over the denomination, which is a beautiful idea. The majority are Christian and not Muslims. Although they do have Muslims families as well. They have festivals, and if you will enter to their website, you will understand what they are doing. You can hear a little bit of what they can do. I love the bells, church's bells. It will be every 50 minutes, the brother actually say. The Franciscans are agent of college, art, language, and this is actually beauty. No one tried to convert. I mean, at least I didn't hear about that someone tried. Some from the Franciscan Order tried to convert someone to Catholic, and this is in a way another beautiful day of the Franciscans. The beauty of it is they brought the West into the Holy Land, but slowly, the 19th century, they actually accepted the local culture, and you can see here the oud in the Arabic then it's a mix between that, and it's quite a beauty. It's quite a lovely idea, isn't it, guys? It's if you never watch my videos, this is the time to add yourself into my family by subscribing to my channel. There are more than 120 rooms here, and every window it's a room, and they have few rooms for guests, and there's a place to meet. And when the brother actually wants to be with himself, to talk with himself, then they can meet in here as well. Let me. Then you can see the sign for the church, for the hall, their concert hall, the school, and that's where they're traveling. That's where they can meet each other. In the 17th century, the Muslims forced them, and he actually said it in a nice way. They forced them to leave Mount Zion, and they actually forced the Jews to leave King David tomb as well. As you already know, the Georgians, 7th century, gave them that place. I mean, they bought it from them. Pharaoh Aloisio, the Parmite, actually is St. Francis. And this is a gift that the Parma gave to the church. Look how beautiful it is. Loves their praise the Lord. This is the house of where the elder brothers goes. They're finished to life. They're a home of brothers. It's with a private clinic. It's lovely. They have they do have TV, which is not obvious because through that they can actually can see all the ceremonies of the Franciscans. Lovely idea. One of the vows of the brothers is to live in a poverty situation, then have no money or any other pleasure, things like TV. That's why the TV for the older people are important because they can watch the ceremonies. It's not that they can watch Friends or something like that. The kitchen is in front of you. You can see the chimney. It's 20, 30 years ago, not on the convent in Jerusalem at the kitchen. Basically, that kitchen is actually prepare food for all the monks in the Holy Land. This is the catering area. This is the main kitchen of the Franciscans. Oh, this is lovely. This is lovely. Listen to that. At 10:30 every day, the bell is ringing, and I ask myself why. Because there's no ceremony anyhow. Because of the status quo, they cannot change anything. But before it actually symbolized that the food is coming to the church, and all the brothers actually came to visit, or came to eat. This is lovely. There is even an Italian mini market, a supermarket, right there. If a brother wants to have, ice cream or chocolate, or if they have guests and have they have guests and want to buy them something, they can do that there. All right, we are still heading through the church of San Salvador. Oh, Mary and the Angel, Mary and the Angel. The sun is in our eyes, but it's still so beautiful. Oh, look at St. Helen. Sorry. This is a more ancient courtyard. There's this water system here, and this is the first thing that the Christians actually looked here. Water is necessary, and it's quite rare in Jerusalem. At the beginning, they were waiting for the rain to collect the water. Now we don't need it anymore. You can see different bricks, different stones, different colors. It's an example of history's sake. Some doors are not functioning anymore, as you can see. It's from the 11th century. It's quite a beautiful Crusader building. There is a beautiful Crusader building here. Let me... The bell that you saw is from 1682. The bell was found 6 years ago in the flea market of the Jaffa. Really? Oh, that is funny. And the brother who found that bought it. Huh.
So we don't know the history. He said that he got from someone, that he got from someone. So maybe in the 17th century, 18th century, there was a need to sell it.
Yeah, it's not something. I mean, it's strange that someone actually sold a bell, the tower bell. There's a balcony, and in the balcony, there are signs of circles, sign of circles, the balcony and the tower in each side. Yeah, you can see. Let me show you where it is. That was the site of the clock. Then when they built that church, the roof and the tower was the same level. Oh, I love it. Oh, we are thinking of those. Sorry. I don't know if you can hear. It's the IDF plane. It's still a war between Israel and the bad people around us. Until 1967, there wasn't the tower. The towers actually ended here. After 1967, when Israel came back to it, they built a tower, which is the highest tower in Jerusalem. We talked about the wine. Winery. I can smell it. I can smell it. And of course, this is the church that we will enter later. Wow, they're actually they're preparing the wine for all the Christians in Israel. Lovely. San Francisco's got permission when he came to Israel. He got permission to sell or to prepare wine, which wasn't a good idea. Alcohol and Muslims, and even for Christians, is not something that was easy. They had to get permission. And they had to go to the chief of Egypt to get permission for wine. And the Sultan gave him the permission to have pilgrims here and even to prepare wine, which again, it's not used to be in the Muslims countries that are not allowing wine. And they gave the Franciscans and friends, oh, that is funny, they gave permission to the French, not Franciscans, because it was like a mix. They didn't understand that Franciscans and France is not the same thing, but everything is okay. Then let's go to drink some wine, I wish. Let's go to try some wine, I wish. It's early morning. I just came from Tel Aviv early morning, and when I was sitting on the bus, I realized that Lebanese, the nice people of Lebanese, sent us a missile that the Iron Dome just destroyed in the air, but that's how my day began today. You know that I'm taking videos of everything. Then if you want to see the missile, the Iron Dome destroyed the missile in the air, it's already in my YouTube channel. Let's enter to here. Oh, look like Elijah. Oh, it looks like maybe that's where San Francisco's asked to get permission for the winery. It's so beautiful. Let me tell you something. I've never been here. Never been here. And welcome to the church. I will prepare. I will upload a video of the church anyhow. But this is such a beautiful church, and if I'm not wrong, it's actually facing to the north and not to the east. A drama. Looks totally like a European church, isn't it? Looks like a Torah ark. Remind me a little. So beautiful. Oh God, it's so beautiful. Welcome to the San Salvador Church. It belongs to the Custodia Terra Santa. It's a beautiful church. It's not really symbolize the modesty of the Franciscans, but when they were kicked out of Mount Zion, 17th century, by the Muslims, they came to here. They built. They bought that land from the Georgian Europe. They are renovating here, and I'm so sorry, but there are some noise here. They got donation from Christians from Europe, And the main Catholic countries existed in Europe donated the majority of their money, and that's why they built Spain, France, Belgium, and Italy. Yeah, and that's why it doesn't look like a very modest church. The donors, mainly here, came from Spain, and they built a church, that Baroque church that looks like in a little bit of Jaffa, if you've been with me, a bit Jaffa, and it's beautiful. It's modern. Usually there are a lot of flowers, not today. And the body of Jesus is on the cross. In Franciscan churches, there are no images, no flowers. Very modest, very modern. In every church you will have the 14 stations of the cross, which is actually Franciscan's idea. Then you can see it on the wall. This is the fifth one. Remember what's happened? Yeah, yes. Saint Simon and the mother of Jesus is right here. He's falling for the third time. It's so nice that the Franciscan actually mentioned that the 14 stations that they actually in a way built, not all of them are mentioned in the Bible, but as you already know from my videos, then they added a tradition that were already in Jerusalem for so many years. For example, falling 3 times, meeting the mother. It's not part of the Bible. I think you can understand that this is a Catholic church. Look at the windows. EJ, I'm thinking about you now. I didn't buy you the candles yet, because I'm part of the tour, but your spirit, and of course your wife, Betty, is in the church right now. Kind of imaginary vision of St. Francisco Smith, Jesus, and touch the stigmatas of ears. Remember, St. Franciscus had those stigmatas as well, and you can see it right there. October 3rd, Franciscus died. Then there's a huge celebration here that day. The vows. If you want a Franciscan's brother, monk, you have to study and to a lot, and then when he reached the stage that he will promise to be poor, no property, no marriage, and no martial and opinions. Poverty. Well, yeah, and they believe that God will give them everything that they need, and they don't need anything else. He is the big Lord of their life. They don't need anything, anyone to be part of them. No, not only not only wife, not even the S word. I'm so sorry about the noise, but they are renovating. Every year when they study, or every year they must say, I promise to keep those vows every year. And when he reaches a stage of being a monk, being a brother, they put a carpet here. The custos is there, and they promise to be part of the order as well. It's beautiful to see it. And then you are promised that forever you will be part of them. You will receive a ring, and that's it. You are part of the Franciscan Order. In the museums of the Franciscans, they have treasures from different places, from different materials. I've never been in that museum for more than 5 minutes. I hope that we're going to visit it. Oh. The Druze many years ago killed 11 people from Syria, 11 Franciscans, but he actually said that Druze are beautiful, and they are. And this is their vision of it. And they are saints now. 13th century. Eight Franciscans, brother. October, it's their day. And you will see it not on here, you will see it on the Vatican as well. They will have a special celebration here. It's funny to say that it reminds me of the October 7th of Israel, when the horrible people of Gaza killed more than 14,000 Israelis in a few hours. Well, let's enter to a place that usually I'm not even asked to enter. Sorry. Of course, Jesus on the cross, John, Mary the mother, Mary Magdalene are here as well. And look at the floor, we didn't talk about that. Look how beautiful it is. John, Mary Magdalene, Mary, Jesus on the cross. E.J. Betty, Don, all the Christians, all the Catholics that I actually knows now, I'm blessing you right now. Look at the organ. If there was something that I wanted to play, was the organ. But I don't know how to play even one instrument. I tried the flute. The teacher kicked me out of it. They said, you can do so many other things, like being a tour guide. Then I became a tour guide. I'm kidding. I'm not good with it. I love music, but not more than that. We are in the choir now. That's where the majority of the committee are singing, and they know how to sing. Oh gosh, they know how to sing. I wish I could be here. The morning prayer is not with music, but the evening is, yes. The morning. Before the night, if prayers as well, and the Eucharist as well. That's been here, praying here a few times a day. Then the Mass and the evening the singing, and Sunday everyone must be here. They have a concert. Yeah, you can see we can play. Then the public, from here the public can see the player. Everyone's got their seat here. There are 90 people who sit here. Everyone knows where their seat is, although there's no names. Oh, there's a secret door. We love secret doors. Okay, they can actually, from there they can reach their rooms, or from their rooms to reach to here. This is the largest organ in Israel. There's another one in the Hebrew University that no one used. What can I say, tell you? I love organs. In October they usually have a concert, organ concert, but because of COVID and because of the war, then they won't have it this time. Sad, isn't it? Well, next time, trust me, I will do my best to be here. Look at the Holy Spirit and God. The four evangelists. Let's go to the Sacristy. Guys, I took a video earlier of all the institutes here of the Franciscans, which is the 1/3 of the Christian Order. Then that's how big it is. If you're already here, listen to me, then it means that you love what I'm doing. Then please don't forget to subscribe to my channel.
So you enter the Sacristy, in Latin and Italian Sacristia. And inside this word there is sacrum and secretum. So something that is holy and secret or reserved. Why? Because you usually every church has a space that is big or small according to the wish of the church, that is the place where we keep everything that is holy. What we use for the liturgy, the clothes, the books of the liturgy, oil, water, holy water, etc. Because this church is the main convent and we have many brothers, not all the brothers are priests. Here is the time also to speak a bit about this difference. When a young man starts the process to become a brother, he doesn't know yet if he wants also to become a priest. So he has a spiritual guide and he has some formators that are helping him to understand. So the educational system is for everybody the same. Philosophy, theology. If really someone cannot study because it's very difficult for him to study, then we can cut here somewhere, some years, some courses. But the majority of the brothers, they finish a degree in theology. And during this period of preparation, they understand also if they are gifted or called to be a priest. So among the Franciscan, you cannot from the clothes, you cannot see if someone is a priest or not. But everybody are brothers. For this we call Brother Alberto, Brother John, Brother Matthew. But some of them are also priests, and then we can call them Father. But it's something that came in the tradition of the church, but is not written anywhere. The opposite. In the Gospel is written that Jesus asked, don't call anyone Master and Father. Because you have just one Master, it is me, said Jesus, and you have just one Father, it is God in heaven. But until now we didn't manage to avoid this. We try to do it officially in our documents. Every time that as a secretary I write an official document, I never put F of Father or P of Priest. Always brother. But it's a tradition. And in the Holy Land, everybody's a Abuna.
It's kind of respect.
Yeah, I know.
Abuna is a father.
What are the nuns called anymore?
Sister. Sister. But sometimes also the mother is the responsible of the house to call mother. Mother superior. So something more specifically of the clothes. So the Franciscans that are not priests, they are obliged to wear this during the prayer and the meals. These are the two main events that are also covered by blessings. The prayer moment and the meals, we need to wear this. But if we are a priest, I'm also a priest, when you celebrate, you need to put another robe that is the white one. And everybody has his own with a name, so we know that is yours with your measure. So you put on this. Basically, it's like to say, before going to celebrate something that is so holy, I need to be purified. I don't have enough time to go to a bath, a ritual bath that we don't have anymore, but basically this is instead of a ritual purification. And then over this, you need to put another cloth that here we don't have, but I have an example here. That is the casula. This is called alb, because it's white from Latin, and this is casula. The casula is the cloth that usually is round. The shape is of the word. Basically, you put on yourself the whole word and you pray for everybody. And the color is changing according to the liturgical calendar of the church. This is white because today is a celebration of a saint. Big feast like Christmas, Easter, or saints is white. If it's a normal day, it's green. If it is a martyr or an apostle feast, the disciples of Christ, is red. The Holy Spirit is red. The Pentecost feast is red. And if it is a period of preparation, Advent before Christmas, or Lent before Easter, is purple.
Purple.
So these are the main colors of the liturgies. And in these doors, we have candles, all the things that we need for the celebration. A few words about this. Here the sisters that are helping us are preparing already for tomorrow's celebration, because today we did already in the morning. So what we need during the Eucharist, the Mass, is a cup and a plate. Everything arrived to the Christianity from the Judaism. So this is what usually in every Jewish family they use for Friday evening, Shabbat, Kiddush. So you have something for the bread, something for the wine. The prayer that we say as a priest in front of the bread and the wine now are the same words of a Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai, melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Motzi lech min haaretz. You bless are you, Lord of the universe, that you bless the wine and the bread. But before the Second Vatican Council, these words were not used. So the Second Vatican Council, we will speak about this in a few minutes,
Change a lot.
is a change, a turning point of many things in the church. So before the Second Vatican Council, the priest in front of the bread.
Please put your phones on mute or turn them off. So we have lots of the phones. Put them on mute or turn them off, please.
So before the Second Vatican Council changes, the words of the priest was not something official, or not a prayer, not a Jewish prayer, not a Christian prayer. It was just, I'm so not worthy because I'm a sinner to be close to this bread and wine that will become the body of Christ and the blood of Christ. So God, do what you need me to do because I cannot do. But then the Second Vatican Council said, if this is a memory of the last Sabbath Pesach that Jesus did in Jerusalem, we cannot use words that are not used in a Jewish liturgy. So we went back to the original prayer of a blessing, a kiddush. Then what we put in the cup is wine and few drops of water. Wine, now you see white wine, but probably in the original was red wine. And the reason why we use white wine is just because the sisters, they prefer for the laundry.
Because of what?
For the laundry.
A laundry.
Because then at the end, we need to clean everything inside. No one drop can stay.
All right.
For our belief, this is the blood of Christ. So when you clean, if it's red wine,
Yeah, more difficult.
ladies here, they understand.
Practical aspect of belief.
And the drop of water, we say a special blessing. We say we add a few drops of water that are the symbol of our humanity that Christ accepted to bring on his own to become a man. So it's the unity of humanity and divinity together. And then the bread. The bread is a very thin piece of bread. It's just flour and wine and water. There is no like matzot, because in the origin this was used for Pesach. So now for practical reason we do in this shape. The big one is because then you can show, and everybody also at the end of the church they can see, but then individually each believer receives a small one. But they are all in the same plate, they receive the same blessing, and then we distribute.
Is it baked here?
Yes, there are in every town, there are sisters, usually it's monastery of sisters, that are preparing the bread for all the different churches. There is a specific process, so we don't ask a bakery to do it. Sisters, they do with a special prayer at the beginning, and then we divide in boxes.
And then there is a piece of bread which remains and you put behind.
Yes, there is the tradition that usually the Eucharist is done when people are there. We distribute. If someone is not worthy to receive because he needs to go to confession or he didn't yet receive the baptism, he will not take. But those that they cannot arrive because they are sick or very ill, they really didn't manage to arrive, then they can ask, usually they phone to the priest, can you bring me the communion? Or we keep always a small bread because in case someone is going to die suddenly or because he's sick, he can ask for the last sacrament. Yeah. And we keep just the bread and not the wine because the wine is very difficult to preserve if it's not in the fridge. So also for this there are specific rules. So the bread cannot stay longer than 1 month there, even if it's very dry. And so we need to change often this. We don't keep a lot. When we know that it's already a few weeks, then we consume everything. What happens if you find a tabernacle that was forgotten and inside there is bread that now anymore is not bread? You cannot throw in the rubbish.
You have to bury it.
You need to go in the nature, put it there, or you need to put in the water until it's completely dissolved and then put in the earth.
That was strong. That was strong. Well, before you will actually look at me and say, yeah, there are tourists here. No, there aren't. Just today, the people from Lebanon, the nice people of Lebanon, sent us a missile through Tel Aviv. Tourists are not in Israel. This is the a group of tour guides, and instead of staying at home, we are trying to study. Then Aguilet Opaz is our leader today, but as you can see, the Franciscan's brother is guiding us here in the Custodia de Terra Santa. We are entering to the museum now. I will try to add a video of everything together, which is going to be a long video, but I might cut it into a few different videos. Then, for example, the church will be, if you watch the church video, then you know that there are more to see. Wow. I love the smell.
So this one was the original library of the convent. Each convent is a very ancient tradition. Even in the medieval time, they have a specific place for library. So the convent of St Saviour, this was the library. You have to imagine all around books and small stairs, ladders that are movable to go around, up, and according in the middle here, shelves. Then when we decided to have a specific library with all the ancient books from all around the Middle East, then we create the new library. So where we will be in half an hour is the new library that is not collecting just the San Saviour books, the books from all different convents. And there you have manuscripts, Cinquecentine, Incunaboli, special books, very, very old. So here we transform in a special room that we call Mother of Pearl room, because you will see in the windows some masterpieces of handcraft, handmade objects of Mother of Pearl. It is olive tree wood and covered by Mother of Pearl. These were special gifts, presents that we were giving to special guests that were visiting the Holy Land. Kings, presidents, nobles. So they came, we hosted them, they gave a big donation, and we gave a present. So some of them, they gave back because they know how precious they are, so they gave back as a present to the custody. Some of them are remains from the stock. Who was made this? Who were making this were Christian local, specific in Bethlehem and in Karen. There were 2 storage and 2 laboratories where they were doing this. Now it's very rare to find someone that is able to do it. But still some
Yes, you can find it.
some objects are done in that way. We keep here also part of the history before the Second Vatican Council, and we need to say 2 words. The big changes of the Second Vatican Council were mainly for the liturgy, the languages that we use in the liturgy, and the theological understanding in the Church. Basically, the Second Vatican Council were 3-4 years, 1963 until 1965, with few breaks in the middle, where all the head of the Church, Catholic, but also they invite Protestant, Orthodox, and other churches, to listen to big conferences and to take decisions. They went to every topic in the Church: history, philosophy, theology, understanding, and everything that was not right or could be changed and better was done. So this is a huge step of the Catholic Church. No other churches until now, they managed to meet together, all the other churches, and to go through what is possible to change, if there is something to change.
Didn't Pope Francis do the same?
Another Vatican Council?
Yeah.
Well, many popes they wanted. Until now, there are not many things to change, but of course we're always in a process of progress. But the Second Vatican Council was a miracle from the Holy Spirit. So the main thing that we changed, as I said, is the language. Before Vatican Council, just Latin was the language of the Church. All liturgy, songs, readings, just Latin. After the Second Vatican Council, every local church can use the local language. I remember my family, my parents, they born just 10 years before the Vatican Council. So all their childhood was with Latin, without understanding anything. They were going Sunday for tradition with the parents and the grandparents to the church, but they didn't understand anything. And another thing before the Second Vatican Council was that the altar was close to the wall.
Yes.
All the believers there, and the priest with this huge clothes on him, very nice, because people, they need to see something good and precious. They were praying here, saying something in Latin, without knowing what he's doing on the bread, on the wine, what he's saying. So the second big change was the structure of the church. The altar is in the middle, around priests, in front of the people. And everybody around the same table, they know what is happening and they understand because it's in their language. So clothes
And that's
change.
why we see sometimes two altars, the old one and the new
Yes.
Mhm.
Where possible, we really cut and move the old, like here. Sometimes it was so precious and so difficult,
They
they
put a
keep
new one.
and they put a new one. The clothes now they are much simpler because we don't need also this the understanding of the liturgy is you don't need to see something very precious and not understand it. It's better to have something simple but everybody understands. So now the clothes are very simple, just one color, few decoration, and this we can still use, but is more like for the museum. And I close here something very practical and unique of this land. You see that somewhere there are statues of flowers, vase with flowers. There are huge there, small here. Because on the altar, when this is not an altar, but let's put it as an example, you have to have one cross, minimum 2 candles that can grow the number until 7. 7 if the bishop is present and praying. Otherwise you can do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Minimum 2. That are the symbol of the humanity and divinity of Christ. The cross, or on the altar or near the altar, and flowers. Why we need flowers? Because it's a memory from the Bereshit, that there was a garden, and the day of the resurrection because he was buried in a
In the
garden.
garden.
So, flowers here, flowers there, or nature, we need to have on the altar. But to have fresh flowers in this land was completely impossible. We are thinking from the 13th century on. So we have a special permit from the Vatican to use symbol of flowers. So these are also very important precious sculpture, silver, gold, ceramic, that were used to oblige to this obligation to have flowers. Okay.
It is beautiful, isn't it? Let me show you a little bit of the mother of pearl.
Ostensorio to stand something is to show, and inside you can put the bread.
Ah, look at that.
This is something very kind.
Nativity and the room of the Last Supper, as I believe. Yes, it is. On the Nativity.
The name of the bread. Before to put it in the tabernacle, you can have a moment of adoration. When you put it in this very decorative box. But the relic is something more.
Wow.
Now we go down to the
This is the big wow, isn't it? From the ancient old library. I don't know if you, of course you couldn't smell, but I smelled the books. We are heading to another place at the Terra Santa, Custodia Terra Santa, the center of the Franciscans in the Holy Land. And we are entering into the kitchen. Wow, simple but beautiful.
They use as a contribution just because it's a Franciscan church. Okay, so this is the dining room. Usually it is not normal to have a big room like this in a convent. But as I said here, 90 people are eating together. We sit all around, so basically nobody gives that to anyone. And places are fixed all the year for the more grown up. For the young brothers, they change every Sunday usually. Then they have the possibility to speak with someone else and to know each other. Because to know each other a bit more personally, 90 is very difficult. So you need to change your place. Usually we don't speak a lot during the meals, specifically at the beginning. So there is a space here for the reader. A brother go up to the microphone, he will read a blessing, and then he continue reading for a few minutes while we are starting eating. So he will eat before or after. The food is coming from this window. There is the kitchen, this important corner that we spoke about outside. And spontaneously, the young brothers, they go and they take the food. So we don't stand. So they go from the beginning, from the end here, they go around, and some other brothers are there. So everybody quickly receives the food. We have an Italian tradition of kitchen and food. So we have first course,
Amen
second
for that.
course, vegetables, and if it is a feast, there is also aperitivo before the lunch, and the dessert and fruits. Food is simple, so we don't have something very, very rich, because also the brothers need to study and work. So that feast, we have something more. You see that there are boxes of wine, there is bread. So wine we can drink also during the meals. It's not just for the liturgy, but we don't put bottles everywhere because the majority, they don't drink wine. Someone drink wine, goes to the box, takes a glass, and starts. We have official meals together, lunch and dinner. The breakfast is more self-service. We put everything here because we have different timetable in the morning, so it's more free. But like a liturgy, it's lunch and dinner. So we start with the prayer, readings, meal, and the blessing at the end. So usually there is a tradition in the convents in every different communities in the world to have the Last Supper room seen on the wall. Here you see something strange. It's not the normal Da Vinci with a table and plates. Because we asked the painter to come to stay here with us a few months, to study a bit the tradition. How could be a meal of Pesach in the 1st century in Jerusalem?
This is the original.
Well,
With the little differences.
he didn't study too much, so he put fishes that we're not sure that in the 1st century was easy to have in Jerusalem, and bread, and it's not.
They brought from Capernaum.
Then the original paint was with Jesus and 12 disciples, but here if you count, is Jesus 13, because the Franciscan, they asked the painter to add Mary. The second on the right is Mary, the mother of Christ, because of the respect and the honor that we gave to her. And then the last one on the right, it doesn't have the symbol of the yes, of the saint. And then here on the left is the wall where we put the custos that has been our head of the church until he finished his mandate. So there is the name, the family name, and the years, how long he was a custos. So the actual one that is still ongoing, we will put his paint is ready. He arrived 2 days ago, the paint from Italy. So we will move everybody to one place, and the more attention will go to the archive. Now we go to the
And let me show you the Last Supper scene. You can see that they sat on the floor just like they did originally, and of course you can see Judas and Mary, the mother. Very simple, very beautiful. I'm not hungry at all. And you can see Vivian. Vivian, say hi to... You know Vivian from the desert, from the camels. We just left the refectorium, the dining room. It looks like we are going to the winery. Totally looks like it. Last time that I was in the winery wasn't, I think, 12 years ago, but lately they found here something new that was hidden for 100 years. Let's go and see it. When they came to here in the 17th century, it was a kind of a storeroom, and they didn't know that they found the burials from more than 100 years ago.
There is also a document that says that when pilgrims were arriving by boat, they will use
The pilgrims came to here from Jaffa to Jerusalem. They got the first meal here, and wine as well. And wine was so important because it was more important. It was better than the water at that time. Then it was hidden for so many years. And when I was here for the first time, I didn't see it. I didn't know about it. It all started when they actually had looked for a place to put the bottles, plastic bottles. Until then, they had enough space, and they decided to enter to their door to see what's happening there. And then they found the first place, and the keys to the other rooms, and the rest is history. Oh, sorry. Oh, I wish that I could drink the wine from 100 years ago. Oh, water. Oh, you can see the bottles. Chevelicus. Vivian. Wow, it's a huge place. What we saw is only a small part of it. Magnificent. Just magnificent to see it. It's so beautiful.
Not coming. Stay here. At home.
We are entering now to the library, which is, for me, how should I say it? To smell a book. To smell the dust and the ink of it is almost a secret thing. I love to read, I love to study, and the library of the monastery is important for me. Father Lionel will guide us in English. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can actually tape it, but I will try to ask.
this institution that the Franciscans have, because that was the first thing they brought with them when they first came 800 years ago. They had to bring prayer books. And so with prayer books, the collection began. You have private prayer books, public prayer books, and then you have books for the liturgy, then you have the Bible, and eventually the collection of books grew, and that became the basis of the library. All of you know your archaeology and everything. Stones don't speak. Stones, you have to interpret them, all right? And that is pretty subjective. Books, on the other hand, are all there explicit for you.
Totally.
And so the written records are the spoken patrimony of any civilization, much more than archaeology, all right? Because it is the one that gives a voice. And so the library here encapsulates the experience of 800 years. Joys, successes, failures, and deaths everywhere, left and right. But it is all part and parcel of our mission, part and parcel of our patrimony. And so the library began 800 years ago with a few books, which we still have today. 800 years later. The first two books that were brought here in 1291 still exist here today in the collection. And when the collection continued to grow, it is only because of the ministry that the friars were doing in this land. Primarily 5 areas. First of all, prayer. You have lots of prayer books. That was our main function here, to pray here. The second one is to preserve the holy places. And so we have a collection, of records regarding the holy places, 800 years ago, what the situation was, what it is like, changes to the Greek Orthodox, back to us, and whatever. Then we have the itineraries, where pilgrims used to come and write down whatever they saw. And it is important because what we see today wasn't what it was even 200 years ago.
Right.
Things changed, politically, socially, culturally, and so physically, even the places changed. And as a result, what we see today wasn't exactly what 200 years ago was. And so all these records are important to tell us how things developed. And finally, we have the medicine, pharmacy. We have a very famous pharmacy here, probably the first Western pharmacy here in the Holy Land. We have the collection of all the books, how to do bandaging, how to do operations, how to fix bones, and all the recipes of herbs. All the herbs used in Europe, and which were translated here, and we had to find the equivalent because we don't have the same plants as Europe. And so it took decades and decades of experimenting with different local plants to come up with the same recipe. And so I have 5 exemplary books to show you regarding these 5 areas. And of course the Bible. The Bible, languages, because when the first Westerners came, they had to learn the local languages. There were no grammars. And so we were the ones who started compiling grammars, dictionaries, Latin, Arabic, Arabic, Latin, Syriac, Latin, Syriac, all the local languages, Armenian, you name it, and we have it. All right? So we're going in now to have a look at these 5 exemplars.
And please be careful with your backpack.
And the most important sign in a library is that sign. Silence.
You can see the first part is written by hand. The project is called Endangered Archives because it all started when ISIS began to destroy the libraries in Iraq, the big one in Mosul. And so there was this big desperate attempt to try and digitalize everything before they could possibly be destroyed. So we were also chosen to be part of the project. They have already digitalized over 500,000 pages.
Are they accessible?
They are all accessible in the British Library website. You can just go there and type Biblioteca Nazionale, Biblioteca Custodiale, and you will find all our manuscripts, illuminated manuscripts, all there.
What is the name of the project?
Endangered Archives Project, EAP, the EAP. They're still continuing. They managed to save some of the Dominican books in Mosul. In fact, I think there are about 20 right now in the École Biblique. Majority has been destroyed already, burnt, lost forever.
Certainly.
And 20 to 50 boxes will manage to be shipped out somewhere in Europe now. But I think 20 copies, I've seen them myself in the library in the École Biblique, which hopefully next year they will have a little exhibition to show them to the public here in Israel. So yeah, this is what we're doing. The project is also trying to preserve our library in Aleppo. The Aleppo library is much more older than ours because the first friars arrived in Aleppo before they came here. And so the Aleppo library is much older. Problem is that they are all surrounded by ISIS. And so we have difficulties going in. I'm trying to get information as to, what happened to all the manuscripts because I found some on sale in eBay.
Really?
So it's driving me crazy. I'm really doing everything possible, with Interpol and everything to try and save our patrimony. Tough job. Same thing in Cairo. We are also digitalizing all the manuscripts in Cairo, which some go back to the 6th century. We can't bring them out because the Egyptian government wouldn't allow us. So several things are going on which I'm trying to coordinate in Syria and in Cairo because I am the head librarian of all the libraries in the custody, which goes from Egypt all the way up to Syria and Lebanon.
And how many years are you doing this?
Well, I'm the librarian here for 9 years now, and more than 9 years, 12 or 13 years, 15 years.
Yeah, the 2 years is running.
Yeah, just about that. So this whole area, in fact, that you see the library was originally the printery. You can see the photo there, and you can see some of these huge metal things that used to hold the wheels. It was a steam engine that drove the wheels on so that we could do the printing of books as well. And we kept one here as a memory.
Father Leonard, I would just
please.
So I've given you the idea to think about of the Franciscan brothers as agents of culture. So having a printing press that was one of the first one, or even the first one in the
Second.
The Armenian, believe it, they have the first, the
It's
Armenian.
one of the first ones in the Middle East, and preserving all this heritage, the books and the scholarship. So that's another very important thing that they have done and continue to do, and usually we are not aware of that. It's not something that you see or experience when you come to visit the Visitation Church or Mount Tabor. So please be aware of that as well.
Thank you. Yeah, we are the second oldest printery, but we were the first printery to print in Arabic. The Armenians never did. The Armenians printed only in Armenian.
Yes.
So we printed in the local languages, Hebrew, Arabic. We were the first. And we still have the types in the collection inside my magazino. Can't speak English now. Storage, brilliant. Over here, you get to see one of these huge choral books.
Guys, you're hiding the view from us, so please try to stand on
It's immense, it's huge. It's bronze, as you can see, the cover is bronze.
Wow.
It's immense, it's heavy, it takes 2 people to carry this, so nobody thinks of stealing it. And this one is a printed version, Morning Prayer, Psalm 68, and which you have given little notations in stars to tell you this is where you end, so you sing either up tone or a down tone, like this. And it has to be big because handwritten manuscripts especially, and then the early printed books were very rare and expensive, and we can't afford one for everyone. And so a huge book was printed for 5 or 6 friars standing in front to sing, because we take turns. The group on the left will sing the first verse, and then the group on the right will sing the second verse, like this. And so it has to be for public view. And so they are huge, and this is a good representation of the liturgical life that we have.
What year is this from?
This is from the 18th century as well. They damaged the tables because you can see they have nobules at the bottom to be held up, but they destroy the wooden tables because they are so heavy. Over here, we have a medical book. Very interesting. These are recipes for ointments.
Ointment.
And it tells you, for example, this one here, sacchetto preservativo. And what do you need for this little sachet of herbs? You need the radici d'angelica. The angelic, what do they call it?
Root?
Arrowroots. They are arrowroots. And they tell you also need camphor. You need crocus, saffron. Zafferano mezza, crocco. You must make incense, olio di ambra, goccio, 4 drops of the oil of ambrosia, and all these for different illnesses.
What is that one for?
Let me see. The porti a pela di colo is something that you have to tie to put around your neck. It's against the pestilence. Which is pestilence, which is the plague.
The eye of the needle.
Wouldn't we love that? And so we do have, like this is a whole, this is just one out of almost 800 of these books that we have.
Wow.
All right? And they were all adapted for the local situation. You know that the friars were the last plague in Jerusalem was 100 years ago.
Right.
And
then we have Corona.
it was. But during the last plague in about 1910, it was the friars who were the first to go out with all our medicines, with all our. It was a typhus outbreak, terrible one, and we were the first ones to go out with our ointments to help the local communities. And this was acknowledged in, I think it was 6 years ago, there was an exhibition, Medicine in Jerusalem, in the Citadel of David. And they dedicated one room for our pharmacy with our books and all the jars of the ointments that we had, if you remember that.
I remember.
So this is one of our contributions to the local society, but it took a long time, to come up with all these recipes. And finally, the preservation of the holy places. We have early photographs of all our holy sites. Some of them we have already lost due to war, due to political reasons.
What is that place?
This is Gethsemane. You can recognize it. In front of the altar there is a big stone. This is the rock.
So that's
This is
before
the
the
rock.
church was built?
Before the church was built.
Yes.
All right.
Just the upper part of the rock. That's the whole rock.
Yeah, I recognize.
You still have access already.
All right. And because of these photographs, we see places that even today we don't know we have. For example, the tomb of the prophet Isaiah.
The tomb of the prophet Isaiah.
It is in Silwan.
In Silwan?
It belongs to the Franciscans. It is still there today. But very, very few people know about this.
I didn't know.
And so it is still there. It's a cave in the Kidron Valley. just in the beginning of Silwan.
How close to the pools is it?
Quite close. If you come up from the dry Canaanite tunnel,
Okay.
the moment you come out and you look across, it used to have a huge cypress tree there, and you could see it immediately, but they recently, for the past 5 years, they chopped it down. So it's a bit difficult to find it, but still you can see houses above and around it with a cave.
It's in Silwan side.
It's in Silwan side, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
across the valley.
And beneath the village itself, like in the slopes.
It is along,
The slopes, yeah. down.
it is along the slopes, but there are houses all around it now.
Yeah.
In fact, you have to go through a Muslim house in order to get there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, right.
It's a bit dangerous for us, even for us to go there. We go there very rarely, but when we do, we need police to accompany us to go in. Mhm. But yeah, so
Any archaeological proofs that this is the...
this has been
real-
traditional. This has been a
Is it
traditional
traditional?
site. Even the Jews would go there to pray before.
Okay.
When it was open during the Ottoman period, the Jews would go there to pray as well. So this kind of stuff, for example, in our library, helps to keep the memory alive because nobody else knows about it.
Where's
So-
the picture from?
Sorry?
When is the picture from?
Oh, this is all from 1870, 1890.
Were taken by pilgrims?
No, it was taken by the friars.
Wow.
The friars themselves. The first photographs of the Holy Land were done by the Dominicans. They have the earliest, even the glass slides still exist today. And we followed them.
Yeah.
But we printed them out, whereas they never printed their photos.
And photographic friars.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you see how important it is. You know, people just think that, oh, it's just, you know, a souvenir. But you'll never know that the souvenir you take today could be a historic treasure
Totally
50,
true.
100 years from now.
So these are all being digitized also for preservation?
Yes, that's right. They've all been digitalized.
Father, who's the saint for the?
This is Gabriele Allegra. He was a professor here in 1955, 65, and 75. He founded the Bible Institute in China, and he translated the Bible from Hebrew and Greek into Chinese.
Oh.
He's an Italian.
Because of that, the Bible...
You can see it's Chinese.
Chinese.
You can see it's the Western Wall to the Great Wall.
Ah, okay.
From the Western Wall to the Great Wall.
Yeah.
Mm. And I was his successor. I was the director of the Chinese Biblical Institute in 1990 to 1997.
Was he already elevated to a saint? Or
He is he's the Beato, he's the blessed now, but very soon he will be made a saint. Very soon. Mhm. The only people who are stopping it is the communists in China, because he was very anti-communist. He founded a research institute to fight the communists in Singapore, where I come from, and the communists hated him for that. They blocked his canonization, they blocked his beatification. The beatification was done secretly. It wasn't done in St. Peter's in the public. It was done secretly in this little parish in Sicily.
How can they block it?
Yeah.
Diplomatic, it's diplomatic. They threatened to arrest all the Chinese Catholics if anything was done, everything. You don't know how bad it is. You have no idea. Anyway,
How many languages you speak? Because you're a librarian and I can you are just
If it's not the first
it's not yes, sorry.
I don't know how many I speak.
Or read, yes.
English,
Yeah, that's for
Italian, 4 types of Chinese, French,
Latin.
German, Latin, Greek, modern Greek, ancient Greek, Arabic, Armenian,
Aramaic.
Aramaic I can read, yes. I don't speak it as a
You
big
have the
language.
gift of tongues.
The
Well,
library.
it's part of the formation. It's part of my job. I have to do
Yes,
all
yes.
this stuff.
So, Father Lionel, if any of us would like to visit here again as tour guides with groups, so we should coordinate it directly with the library and not through Father Alberto. Father Alberto is in charge of anything
Like
else.
direct with him.
So if you want to add or only visit the library, you should contact the library directly and coordinate your visit. And
Yes, we have the address out there, the email, so.
so on the exit, before we exit,
Yeah.
you can
On the
take a
left.
photograph or collect a small paper with
Yeah.
the contact details of the library. And I want to thank you on behalf
Thank
of
you,
the
Anne.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful to have you guys around.
Just before you go, just another thing about the liturgy. So historically, the thing of the Franciscans is not to pray a lot or to have a lot of liturgy. They want to be with the people, to make the people believe and feel towards Jesus and the church. But it happened, as I already described, that in the Holy Land they became connected and responsible for the holy sites. And in the holy sites, it's important to do the liturgy. Whether or not you have pilgrims or local believers coming, they have to maintain the services, the morning prayers, the evening prayers, the feast, and so on. And it might be sometimes quite exhausting or even boring to do. Think about the Franciscans in the Holy Sepulchre, doing the daily procession every day and doing the prayers and the services. So this is something that as tour guides we sometimes do experience. We come to the sites, but for us maybe it's a kind of challenge or disturbance. We want to show, we want to explain, and the Franciscans have their liturgies. So we need also to remember and be aware how important it is. Okay? And also
I didn't do that.
How
Sorry.
demanding it might be, and this is something that they
Yes.
struggle to do.
Yes.
Also in these days
We-
when there's no one.
Definitely. We try to make a balance. We know people come from so far and if they don't see the place is not right. But at the same time, we have to keep our prayer times. And so there's always a compromise. There's always, you just ask everyone to be understanding. You could just wait another 5 minutes, until we finish our job.
They sing so beautifully in the Holy Sepulchre. It's such a treat when they sing, and it's
Yeah.
magnificent.
True.
Wonderful, thank you.
Now we would go to the Curia on the left. Francesco Paton, very kind person. He is the custos today, and this is the Minister General. Minister General is not only on the Holy Land for the Franciscans, but